Hey everyone, welcome to 34 Motorsports and thanks for tuning in to today's video. Today I want to talk about some things that you should do with your safety equipment after you've had a bad wreck. Everybody make sure that the car is right, everything's good car-wise. You go over that, check over everything, make sure everything's tight, nothing's bent, broke, whatever it may be. But a lot of times the safety equipment kind of gets pushed to the side and that doesn't always get checked over like it should. And your safety equipment keeps you safe so that you can keep racing. There's certain things that should be replaced after you had a bad wreck. Those things are your belts and the tethers on your head and neck restraint. Think about a rubber band. You can stretch a rubber band so many times before it snaps. Your belts and the tethers are the same way. They're going to stretch out that first time. You can't expect them to stretch and then go back into their proper place a second time and keep you safe in the process. So, I mean, yeah, it does cost a little bit of money, but it could be a lot worse. So definitely get your belts replaced, get your tethers replaced if you've had a bad wreck. And that's something that we can help you with. If you're unsure of things, please get a hold of us and we'll help you with that. And even if it wasn't a super bad wreck, you still want to double check your belts and your tethers and any straps that you have on the car. You want to make sure that they weren't stretched too far that you can see the stretching in the material. You want to make sure that they didn't get cut. They're not rubbing on anything. Just look for wear and tear for where the belts are mounted on the car and where they go in the car. Just checking over the belts from one end the whole way to the other. Also, whenever you're checking the belts, check the expiration date. Your belts expire normally in June and December. So while you're looking over them, just double check that expiration date on the belts and make sure that they're not out of date for you. You want to also double check your head and neck restraint. So not just the tethers, but all of the webbing on it, the device itself. Make sure that there's no cracks, tears, rips, burns, anything that just doesn't quite look like how it should with your head and neck restraint. And then your suit, your gloves, your shoes, your underwear, you want to look for any burn marks on that stuff. Make sure that you don't have any holes, just any areas where fire can get in and hurt you. So double check all of that. On your helmets, make sure that there's no cracks on your helmets, if there's any rub marks on it, check on the seat or wherever it may have rubbed at. Are you hitting the cage somewhere with the helmet? So double check the helmet itself, the structure, check the inside, and if you're unsure, contact us wherever you got your helmet from and have a second opinion if you're not sure on it. And while you're looking over your helmet, check over your shield screws. A lot of times whenever you're somebody that you don't need to change your shield out on a consistent basis just throughout the race day, you don't really necessarily think about those shield screws until you're out on the track or getting ready to go out and you realize that your shield's kind of out of place, and then you come to find out that you have a screw missing or some piece of shield hardware is no longer where it should be. I'm going to go over a little bit of stuff that you might want to double check after you've had a wreck. So double check on both sides of your helmet. Make sure the shield screws are in place. Make sure everything's properly snugged down. You want to check your shield screws and take your shield screws out, and you want to make sure that you don't have any dirt or anything getting in the way and pushing the shield out away from the helmet. So just a few minutes every so often or after every race, just take the shield off, go over everything on your helmet. Make sure your shield's still good, the visibility isn't too scratched up. If it is, you might want to replace your shield and get something that you can see through a little bit easier. You also want to make sure that the anchors on your helmet for your head and neck restraint are properly secure, properly in place. So just another part of the checklist whenever you're going over your helmet. If you aren't sure about the safety gear that you have, if you should be replacing stuff, if you're just unsure of it, if you don't know date-wise, if you don't know if your helmet's out of date or if you're still good, your belts, your head and neck restraint, please get a hold of us or whoever it is that you deal with for your safety equipment so that you can have that peace of mind that you do have what you need for whatever it is that you are racing. And that is all for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, we'll see you at the track.